All right. So our next question says, as a girl wanting to date, so I'm presuming this was sent in by a girl, but I do think that this goes, most of this goes for both girls and guys. Question: as a girl wanting to date, am I supposed to do something to let guys know, or do I just wait? Uh, the short answer, I think you wait. And it's an oversimplified answer, which most of these videos are going to be oversimplified answers. Um, is you wait. But let me say this, please do not let a guy string you along. If a guy is giving you just enough attention, if a guy knows that you're interested in him, but he's giving you just enough attention, he'll give you send you just enough text messages. He'll snap you just frequently enough. He'll pop in and flirt just often enough that you continuously feel like you perpetually have a degree of hope, but there's never a declared intention from him. There's never a moment that he says, will you go on a date with me? I think it's time to cut that off. I think it's time to cut that relationship off, actually. And look, I know that's a hard thing for me to say, a hard thing to do. It's easy for me to say, but I will say this. Remember, all dating has an end. It either ends in a breakup or it ends in marriage. And if it ends in a breakup, that's usually a difficult thing to do. And if it ends in marriage, marriage is full of difficult things that you need to do. So part of the developmental process of becoming a future spouse is making hard decisions that are right. And if somebody is stringing you along, then it is right that you no longer give them that access to your heart and your mind. Um, Now, if you're the guy that's doing that, stop it. Okay, just stop doing that altogether. And I know that there's a hesitation to not want the friendship to end, but if we're honest, this isn't a healthy friendship either. This is one person wanting more than a typical friendship, and the other person that's using that friendship to satisfy their ego or to take advantage of your kindness, and neither of those is healthy. And this is beyond just the question that's asked here, but I am going to try to dig to the questions that might come as a result of that answer. One of the major problems is that not enough guys have the courage to ask a girl out that they're interested in. Too many of us want to wait until there's an absolute guarantee of success before we move forward. That's neither brave, that's not courageous, it's actually cowardice. And this should not be true of Christian guys. I have a hard time believing that you're going to walk by faith if you can't ask a girl out that you're interested in. I'm just gonna be honest. How are you going to take the risk of sharing your salvation with someone if the girl that you are interested in that meets the biblical criteria, not your own list? Remember, check. I believe it's video 1 or video 2 for that. If you can't even ask her out for dinner or for a movie or to go play putt putt or to I don't know, play video games or whatever right now with people socially distanced. Um, Now, uh, I will also add this. A lot more guys would be willing to take a chance if a lot more girls would be willing to say yes. Okay? I'm not saying ask out a creep. I'm not, or say yes to a creep. I'm not saying every guy you say yes to, but if you don't have a reason to say no, if there's nothing biblical, give them a chance. Uh, Let God show you something that you would not have thought to pick for yourself. Aren't those the better gifts, anyways? The ones that end up being what you want that you wouldn't have picked for yourself? And what a great way for your Creator to show you that He knows you, than to bring someone in that you would not have chosen. And I actually have two friends that are married. They're happily married. And when they started dating, one of them was very much into the other one, and the other one was like, I don't have a reason to not date, to not take this first date. And so they did because they gave him a chance. So I'll say this: if you are the girl that asked this question, I would ask you in return as well. Have you asked but said no? Okay, and that may not be the case, but if it is, maybe moving forward, you want to give guys a shot. I did ask Jordan if I could share this. She did say yes. Jordan had a policy that she would give guys a shot. She would not give creeps a shot. There was one creep that asked, and she said no, and I knew the guy, and he was a legit creep. And if you're watching it, you know who you are. You're still a creep. That's not true. I shouldn't. I'm gonna cut that out. Um, 1, 2, 3. But Jordan would give guys a shot. And so what happened is as we barely started dating. We'd been hanging out, and I was a moron. I didn't really want to define anything yet. It was the beginning of summer. I just wanted to play video games, work out, hang out with friends, and go swimming. And we were going to be in two different towns for most of the summer. And Jordan got asked out by another guy, and we had only gone on one date together. And so she asked, she's like, what are your intentions? What do you want to do with this? And I'm not going to go into my answer, but I will summarize what was like, 5 minutes of me finding an answer. I'm an idiot. So Andy, this moron has asked me on a date, but what are your intentions? Um, and my answer was, I am an idiot. And so I thought I would be fine and I was like, yeah, just go on the date, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I thought it would be fine while she was on that date. And that moron, that idiot he took her on a date, and I lost my mind. I didn't like do anything. I didn't burn anything down, but I was in knots that whole date. Um, and when she got home, I wasn't like tracking her that she knows of. I wasn't tracking her. But when she got home that night, I called her, and I had an answer now. I knew what my answer was. My answer was, I'm not trying to control you. My answer was, I want to see if this is going somewhere. And I want to see if it's going somewhere in a way that is exclusive and that I'm not going to date anybody else until we have an answer. So by Jordan giving guys a shot, combined with my stupidity, that led to us having a relationship, and a few weeks later we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and a year later we were engaged, and 6 months later we were married. Um, Not saying it's going to happen to the next guy that you say yes to, but uh, should girls ask guys out? Should they not? Because I feel like that's in the context of this question. I'm not saying that girls should not ask a guy out. I honestly don't know where I fall on this. I know that as a guy, if you're watching this and you have one in mind, you have a girl in mind, just go ask her out. Shoot your shot, right? We've talked about that before. But yeah, I don't know where I land on a girl asking out. I tend to lean to wait. Now, regarding online dating, there are some people that are very pro online dating. There are some people that are very anti online dating. The book that I referenced in the first two videos, Single Dating, Engaged, Married, that's one of the areas that we don't line up, Ben Stewart and I, not that he cares, but we don't exactly line up eye to eye on it. Online dating is where much of the marketplace is post college. Um, so to me, it makes sense to be in the marketplace. However, you want to be around people that will kind of help you navigate that. And you also want to be honest with yourself. If you're getting into online dating, look, I'm not saying that Tinder is evil. I'm not saying that Tinder is sinful. I'm just saying, can we be honest about what Tinder is used as? Like, if we can be honest, I think out of that honesty, we land on whether or not we should be in it. There was a document that came out, I want to say in 2018, it may have been 2017. So this data is a couple years old, but the CFO of Tinder was on there, and they did make the statement that to their knowledge, no marriages had come as a result of a match made on Tinder. So if all dating leads to an end, and it is either a breakup or marriage, but even the ones that are breakups were a evaluation process to determine if it's marriage, then perhaps Tinder's not the route we should go. Um, so while you're in college, a majority of your dating pool is going to be face to face on campus. And so I don't know that you really need to get into online dating now when you are out of college. I think it makes complete sense. If you're in college and you're doing online dating, I don't care. Just do it in the context and with other people around you. Do it in the context of friendships and being a horseshoe and other people being around you. Also, if you look up and you find yourself at a spot in life that there's no actual single people around you, for example, certain towns and certain regions, like whenever I was a teacher in Dublin, I felt like the only person in their 20s who was not married there. And if that's actually true, then maybe this is something that God is using to move you to another town. Maybe the desire for a relationship is something that God's allowed to be a motivator. So I hope this answers your question.